gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, sports fans. How are you? Welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet. This is Sports Unfolded. I am your host, Eric. My main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
Lots to do.
Right? Never stops in the sports world. We will continue to talk about it. If you are joining us live, please join in our chat. We would love to talk to you as well.
We got to thank Atlanta, Eric.
Yes, in our Atlanta market. WDJY 99.1 FM. We are on every Saturday between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. A lot of support coming out of the Atlanta market, so thank you for that. Continue to join us, follow us, join us live every Friday night at 6 p.m. on Rhode Island Broadcasting, all our social media platforms. We love to see you. And then follow Sports Unfolded to continue to stay up to date with us. Ron, we are going to start off with our leadoff story. That's one Mr. Jonte Porter. I don't know if you remember him. We kind of talked about him before in the past. He has now been permanently banned for life from the NBA. And I guess the question here is, did the NBA get this right?
I think they did for this one. First of all, with the problem that is starting to go on with the gambling and stuff, I mean, this guy clearly... He totally went over the deep end. I mean, to me, there's probably a lot of evidence that he actually bet on his own games.
He did. There is evidence.
And you know, that's the one thing. You know what? And we had that Pete Rose on the on our
Hall of Fame
the polls for the Hall of Fame voting, right? There is at least the fact that we don't know for sure if he bet on his own games, but I mean, he did bet on baseball, right? And I get it. But he clearly bet on his own games, and he needs to be out. He needs to be out.
Bet on his own games, Ron. I think they got it 100% correct. Adam Silver, great job. Listen, you're going to stop this before it even gets out of control. This is showing that you want to take a chance. You're no longer going to play in the NBA.
That's right.
The kicker in all of this, Ron, was that I guess the guy he was working with or whatever was happening placed an $80,000 bet on him on one of the prop bets, which obviously flagged because here's a guy that's a two-way player, doesn't play much, probably averaging less than a point a game. And you sit back and go, who's putting $80,000? And the payout would have been over $1 million.
Right.
And so, you know, we criticize some of this gambling and what's going on, but at least it's regulated where they see everything coming in. And it actually prevented this from getting much worse. I did want to, obviously, 24 years old, his career is over because this follows him for the rest of his life, even if he wants to go overseas, whatever he does.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to want to take a chance on a guy that is a bench player and mediocre at best?
Yeah, so interesting. So I did want to bring up, before we move on, Ron, a couple of the famous athletes. James, thanks for joining us tonight. A couple of famous athletes that have been banned for life from their sport. Ben Johnson. I don't know if you remember Ben Johnson.
Yep.
Great Olympic runner, right? Found out that he was doping. Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yep.
Scandal, right, with the White Sox and, you know, rigging the World Series. Lance Armstrong.
That was pretty bad. Yeah.
Lance Armstrong, another one that, again, how many times did he deny that he hadn't cheated? Pete Rose, obviously, we know about Pete Rose. And then I remember this one, and I found it funny, so I had to throw it in. Tanya Harding.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Why?
Yes. So, never goes away, man. But those are some real famous athletes that were banned, and now you can add Jonte Porter to that list. It's actually quite extensive when you go in there. There's probably over 100 players.
And the funny thing is, Nancy Kerrigan is actually related to one of my friends back in high school, way back in high school.
Oh wow! Well, you're getting up there in age, Ron. I would sure it'd be way back.
Yeah, way back.
We got to hop in the DeLorean and push a lot of buttons. I know.
How many gigawatts?
All right, my friend. Well, John Tay, we wish you luck on whatever happens now because it won't be in the NBA.
Burger King's hiring.
Yeah. Let's talk some NFL, Ron. And we've got this story that came out from the four-letter network. Robert Kraft supposedly discussed with the Atlanta Falcons that they shouldn't trust Bill Belichick. Are you okay with them in how they handle that? So the story was as such. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft told Falcons owner Arthur Blank that if they were to hire their former coach, he's not to be trusted. Additionally, Kraft believed that it was extremely difficult to work with Bill Belichick, that he was kind of stubborn, in addition to be very, very arrogant, and he viewed the coach as not worthy of his trust, according to the story. We've obviously seen a giant shift in this relationship over the last couple of years since Tom's left. They had the docu-series, The Dynasty, where a lot of it was attacking Bill Belichick and kind of his character during that 10-part series. Do you see something wrong with this if it is true?
What I believe is maybe the latter couple of years were probably true. Because to me, that sounds like Bob Kraft wanted to put somebody in the GM role later on, and probably the last couple of years. And, of course, Bill wasn't having it. And that kind of went downhill from there. You got to think that maybe the last few drafts, there's a lot of mixed decisions in there. Was Mac Jones actually Bill Belichick's choice, or wasn't he? Did somebody, maybe it was forced on him, maybe it wasn't, maybe he picked him and maybe Kraft didn't want him, who knows, right? We're never going to know that. But I think the deterioration happened right after Tom Brady left.
We can definitely sit back and say, listen, did Bill Belichick try to sabotage Mac Jones' career? Absolutely.
That's the way it looked like to me.
And again,
what it looked like to me. Yeah, and we had talked about this.
Yeah. Is that a shot at Kraft, though, getting back at Kraft and saying, look what I can do? It's just interesting that he would go and approach another team, right? Obviously, the Atlanta market. Thank you for your support, WDJY 99.1 FM. But how do the Falcons fans feel about this? Because if you look at it, they had an opportunity to get a 6-time Super Bowl winning coach, and your owner decides to take the word of a guy that obviously we knew there was tension. We knew there was going to be some issues. I don't think anybody, anytime, if you get fired from a job, most of the time you don't sit back and go, oh, that was the best company I worked for. That was the best boss that I had. And
right.
It's usually some kind of tension there. Arthur Blank taking that word.
Right. And you know that Arthur called, Robert, and they had a conversation, and it came out on one end or the other. Most likely on Atlanta's part, on their side, because I'm sure that Arthur Blank had a conversation with the GM and a bunch of other people and a meeting. Do we want to go with Bill? Do we not want to go with him? And somebody in that meeting let the cat out of the bag on why.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like what happened. So basically, Arthur Blank made a phone call to Kraft, say, hey, should we hire him? Blah, 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 blah. And Bill might be a little peeved at Robert Kraft for the things that were said. And you're going to have all this clash now with Belichick and Kraft whenever the two come come into a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of, one-sided thing. And then you have the telephone game, the classic telephone game, and so it could get blown out of proportion by the time it got to the media.
I will say this.
Who knows?
You're hearing less from Bill Belichick and a lot more from Robert Kraft.
Right. I mean, Robert Kraft might sound like he's a little burned by...
Right? A little bitter, a little hurt. I don't know. It's weird. Because you don't hear a lot coming. You'll hear somebody close to Bill or something, but you don't hear it really from Bill Belichick. So
yeah,
it's interesting to see. Again, I think the Falcons lost out on a 6-time winning Super Bowl coach. Again, you think about what he could have brought to that organization. But again, things happen for a reason. Bill trying to get in play in the NFC East right now said he'd want either Dallas, Philly, or the Giants job if it became available. So he's already trying to make sure that he kind of backfills for his next role if possible.
Yeah.
What an interesting story, and obviously there'll be, I'm sure, even more to come out as time goes on. But don't forget to miss our NFL Draft Watch Party this Thursday night, 7:45 p.m. We'll start a little bit before. Talk a little bit about the draft, and then every pick we will discuss, have our opinions. Usually we have a little fun with it as well, especially when we get down in the later round of the first, because we get a little giddy. We have a little fun.
Yeah, and we're back here in New England, so we really pay attention to the New England Patriots in this. But because now we're in Atlanta, we'll make sure that we talk some Atlanta Falcons, of course.
We cover all the teams, so we'll be really excited about that. Ron, it is time for starting five.
Oh.
Death, taxes, and the fact that I know we're not going to have this the same are guaranteed.
This was so difficult.
Well, I already know you're going to take somebody out that I have in.
Well, you're gonna be mighty surprised on who I have out.
All right. So our starting five basically are Cy Young winners, multiple Cy Young winners. They had to have won at least 2 or more Cy Youngs in their career, and we're going to give you our starting five. Ron, you are first this week, so you can give us your honorable mentions, and then I will give mine.
Okay, so we'll start, from the bottom up. I'm not even sure it's the bottom, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this was tough.
So Bob Gibson did not make my list.
On my honorable
I can't believe it.
mentions.
I can't believe it.
He was the last cut.
Yeah, no, he was not the last cut for me.
Oh, wow.
I also have Jim Palmer.
Jim Palmer made my honorable mentions.
Honorable mention. I also have, as you know, Roger Clemens as an honorable mention. I was going to put him in. I actually had him ahead of Pedro.
Okay.
But he didn't make it.
Okay.
And neither did Pedro. Pedro Martinez did not make it.
Honorable mention on mine as well.
Honorable mention. Justin Verlander did not make it.
Yeah, honorable mention.
And normally I would have 5, but I can't forget. This was my last cut. Clayton Kershaw did not make my list.
Honorable mention for me as well.
That is my honorable mentions.
I have 3 more honorable mentions.
Oh my God, damn!
Because this was tough.
Tom Glavine.
Tough. Tom Glavine. Honorable
I
mention.
didn't even. Yeah.
Sandy Koufax was an honorable mention for me. And Gaylord Perry.
Oh my God! How do you not have Sandy Koufax in?
Sandy Koufax did not make it in because I looked at other things other than the championships. But let us begin our multiple Cy Young winner starting
so
five.
That means you must have Clemens in.
At number 5, Ron, who do you have?
I have Steve Carlton. Oh my God, his numbers are so good. It was tough because some numbers other pitchers had better, some numbers they didn't. it was very, very difficult to gauge where I put these guys, and I seem to have lost my list. So Steve Carlton, 329 wins, 244 losses, 3.22 ERA. He had 4,136 strikeouts, phenomenal numbers, 4-time Cy Young Award winner, 1 Triple Crown, 10 All-Stars, 2 World Series, 1 ERA title. That's the number that actually ended up dropping him down to number 5 because that just wasn't high enough, on the list. And 1 Gold Glove. So one of my all-time favorite pitchers of all time. So
I had at 5 Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver, 311 wins, 205 losses, a 2.86 ERA, 3,640 strikeouts. He won a Rookie of the Year, 3 Cy Youngs, 12 All-Stars, 3 ERAs, 1 championship. I didn't like the strikeouts compared to some of the other guys that I put ahead of him. ERA by far the best on the list. But I just, the strikeouts kind of set me back a little bit, and I'll explain my other guys after. But
yeah, well, this just goes to show, Eric. I mean, we're not seeing it the same.
No,
we're not seeing it the same.
So
but it was so difficult. It was so difficult.
It was. So who do you have at 4?
At number 4, I have Randy Johnson. Oh my God. I remember watching him, and he's just so intimidating.
He was.
He was mammoth. Yeah. I mean, big time pitcher, big time games that he's played. And those numbers show it. 303 wins, only 166 losses, which is phenomenal. 3.29. I do give him credit because as a lefty in the steroid era, he dominated those hitters.
Oh yeah,
dominated. If you're a lefty going up against him, forget it. You're done. 4,875 strikeouts, the most out of all the pitchers. Phenomenal. 1 MVP, which is crucial because that's one of those numbers that got him into that top 5. 7 that's the wrong guy. 5 Cy Young Awards, 1 Triple Crown, 10 All-Stars, 1 World Series, 4 ERA titles. I mean, he was just, the big unit, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Listen, I had him at 4 as well. I think if he had maybe 1 more championship, might have knocked him up a notch.
Yeah.
Plus, out of all 5 of the guys that I have, he had the highest ERA. Still, phenomenal pitcher. 3.29 is not bad at all.
Not in that era. Which, then you look at some of those pitchers like Pedro, who looked like he was pitching in like the early years of baseball.
Yeah.
But he just didn't have enough.
All right.
Of everything else.
We agreed on number 4. Who do you have at 3? Who's the third best?
Oh, number 3, I have Greg Maddux, man. Oh, my God. What a technician. Not a strikeout pitcher, but he still put up numbers. He had 3,371 strikeouts, so that's pretty good. 5,000 innings, but he is a technician. He's probably the most efficient pitcher ever to play. And by efficient, I mean he will put a ball somewhere and make you ground out, make you pop up, or whatever he's looking to do. And that's what he does, and he does it so well. And you take, I keep losing it, 355 wins. Phenomenal. I believe was that the best of all of them?
The most on my list, yes.
I believe it was. 227 losses, 3.16 ERA, 4-time Cy Young Award winner, 8-time All-Star, 1 World Series, 4 ERA titles, but Eric, I know you're waiting for that number to be announced. You want to announce that number that we both know and love?
18 Gold Gloves.
18 Gold Gloves.
Absolute
I look at that
insanity.
and it's just that's crazy.
Insanity. I
It's
love that
crazy.
number. I got him a little higher on my list, but at 3, I had Steve Carlton. And you already talked about the numbers, but the 4 Cy Youngs, 10 All-Stars, he got a Gold Glove
so
as well.
good. He was so good.
1 ERA, 2 championships, 4,136 strikeouts. Phenomenal. So I had him at 3.
Yeah.
Which leaves us 2,
no.
Ron. 2 left. Who's our second?
I'm really confused because my top 2, you have already said where they were. So I'm stunned. I'm guessing you're gonna have Clemens and Jim Palmer. I don't know. But my number 2 is Tom Seaver. And I looked at the numbers, and I was stunned to put him at number 2. 311 wins, 205 strikeouts, 2.86 ERA. It's crazy good. 3,640 strikeouts. He pitched 4,700 innings. But to me, it's like a Greg Maddux, right? And I think he did what Greg Maddux did to perfection. Not that Greg Maddux didn't do it to perfection either, but I think you're looking at kind of similar pitchers there. 3-time Cy Young Award, 12 All-Stars, 1 World Series, 3-time ERA. What kept him out of first place really was not having more World Series wins, really.
Yeah, 1 championship. Yeah, I had Maddox at 2. I had Greg Maddox at 2.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you said you had him a little higher.
18 Gold Gloves, man.
Yeah, I know.
That's phenomenal. And I don't want to hear people say, well, they don't have. When he fielded, he did it better than anyone else at the pitching position.
But he would also
ridiculous.
make you ground. Like,
Oh,
he could
pinpoint.
throw the ball and you hit it and you basically slam it down in front of the plate, and then he makes the play. And he does it so well, perfectly, flawless all the time.
I think you said it perfect, right? Pinpoint accuracy. Like the man could just hit whatever he had to hit where in that strike zone to make sure that you were either going to ground out or pop up. So phenomenal.
Yeah.
So number 1 and your starting 5 multiple Cy Young winners is
I have a guy that you didn't even have in there, Sandy Koufax. Look, I know I'm looking at those numbers and I see a lot of low numbers in certain categories. 165 wins. Okay, that's a low number, but 87 losses, 2.76 lifetime ERA is crazy. He has 23.96 in strikeouts, still more than 1 per inning. Again, he didn't pitch a whole lot in his career. Like, it wasn't as much as some of these other guys. But the problem is he has 1 MVP. He has 3 Cy Young Awards, 3 Triple Crowns. That means nobody touched this guy for 3 years. There was nobody close. There was no one that was as good. 7-time All-Star, 4 World Series. So you throw those 3 Triple Crowns and 4 World Series on there. 5-time ERA champion. Don't forget about the 2 World Series MVPs. That was enough for me. And I didn't think he was going to be number 1.
no
Because I did him first. And I'm like, there's no way that holds up. Not with this list. And it held up for me.
All right. Well, I knew you weren't going to have him on your top 5. Roger Clemens, to me, by far, was just, again, dominant. And we can sit back, and I know your opinion on it, but 354 wins, 184 losses, a 3.12 ERA, 4,672 strikeouts. Ron, 7-time Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
7.
And it's funny, too, because I remember I did Sandy Koufax first. I did Jim Palmer. I did, who was the other one? Bob Gibson. and I did Justin Verlander. Those are the first four, and then I did Roger Clemens right after that. And I was like, okay, so Clemens is better than Gibson, which was a surprise to me, and Clemens is better than Jim Palmer, which was a surprise to me. And then other guys just later on just kept going.
I don't
and
know
I had it. It was so close between like Pedro, Verlander, and Clemens to me. They were in that mix, and I ended up not putting any of those guys on.
So you had Randy Johnson on your list. He had 2 more Cy Youngs than Randy Johnson, 1 more Triple Crown than Randy Johnson, 1 more All-Star than Randy Johnson, 3 more ERA titles than Randy Johnson, a MVP Randy Johnson never won, and a Major League Baseball Player of the Year Randy Johnson never won, and another championship, which was 2 versus Randy Johnson's 1. So even if on your top 5, he's better than Randy Johnson.
No.
Do the math.
He's not.
Do the math. Do the math.
Clemens had help.
Oh, here we go. So just say that's why you kept him off the list.
That was the thing.
Because
I deducted a little bit off of that, and that's what happened. So I put
Roger
him,
Clemens,
Pedro, and Verlander out.
All right, my friend.
That's how it ended up.
All right. All right.
Sorry.
Great list, though. Great, phenomenal pitches. We're going to talk some basketball, Ron, NBA and WNBA. I don't know if you got to see, but we've got a new star in the WNBA in Caitlin Clark. She was drafted number 1 overall by the Indiana Fever. Is she going to be able to change our view of the WNBA?
See, that's a tricky question. Because I feel as though it's just another, addition to, to generate more hype, right? So when the league starts, it's a little tough, right? Because you don't have any history. So as these people come into the league, you have now starting to create history. And she's just another cog in that. And when she passes people on a scoring list or on any kind of a list, whether it's championships, whatever it may be, that's what adds to the
appeal.
The appeal to the league, right? So it's just you just got to keep creating history. And as these players come in, that's what it does.
I think this is where she's going to change it from a generational standpoint of we're starting to see the financial piece of how much she's getting paid versus what Wembanyama got paid, right? $55 million. I think it's $330,000 for the 4 years.
And I get that. People look at that. Yeah, people look at that and they're like, "Oh my God, that should never happen," right?
It should be different. I agree. NBA generates a lot more money than the WNBA.
Right, and that is why.
But this is where I think it's going to change it. Ticket prices already skyrocketing to see her.
Yeah.
Nike, 6-figure deal.
And that's the thing right there. What you just said was the impact what she's having in the league.
So
that's the impact right there.
Now, if she can be successful as she was in college, right, hitting these half-court shots and making plays and possibly getting the Fever into the playoffs and generating that excitement, I think that starts to change it where you look at it. And there were some good plays that came out of this, right?
Yeah.
Because we looked at we were watching, right? Angel Reese came out, and the girl from South Carolina's Cardona.
Cardoza.
Right? Cardoza, that's what it was. Cardoza, right? She came up. So there's some quality players that we've been following now for the last couple months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they can all be successful, the league starts to shift. More people were watching. 2.45 million viewers watched the WNBA.
Look, I think it's a quality game. I think it's a quality game. I mean, when you think about the skill level that they have, the skill level from a decade ago is a lot different now. I mean, they are much more skilled athletically. Just by how they can shoot, and it's appealing to a basketball fan.
She's the
and
female
this is
version.
what she's doing. She's bringing in this new generation now of fans to watch, and it's going to grow. And before you know it, there's going to be, I would say there'll be a first $1 million player probably within the next 5 years. Probably less than that, but
She's the female Steph Curry. Female version of Steph Curry, and shooting's in right now.
yeah.
And if she can make that impact, I think the sky's the limit for her in the WNBA, and I'd like to see it grow. I really do.
I do too. I'm hoping in a couple of years they can add another 2 teams.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
All right, Ron. So, real quick, one quick story I wanted to talk about as well. The Golden State Warriors lost in the play-in tournament to the Sacramento Kings. Do you believe the dynasty's over?
Yes. I think it's over. First of all, they can't even get out of their own way with all the attitudes. And it just seems like nothing is meshing over there now. I think the team has really worn out its welcome around the league as far as people enjoying to watch their game, because now it's just sloppy. It's oft injured stars that can't get up and down the court.
They're getting older.
And I think they're going to clean house.
Yeah.
I think they're going to clean house.
James seems to agree. The ship has sailed. Yeah, I agree. Listen, the big three, Klay Thompson, again, needs to sign a team-friendly deal if he's going to stay. Andrew Wiggins is a shell of himself. I think they're going to try to
down the tank in a hurry, huh?
Right? So who's going to be that support for Steph Curry? How long do they deal with the
Draymond?
Extracurricular activity that Draymond brings?
I think it's over.
Right? I think they might say,
it's
look,
over.
if we can get somebody that's willing to take him off our hands at this point, they may do it.
So this is what I'm thinking. Klay Thomas is going to sign somewhere else. Klay Thompson, rather. He's going to sign somewhere else. So that is going to raise the eyebrows to the team, and I think they pull a trigger and they trade Steph Curry for a boatload of stuff. I'm telling you, they're going to trade him for a boatload, and he's going to end up somewhere to try to contend.
I don't agree with that. I think they try to bring somebody in before they ever let him go. But all right. Once again, we are Sports Unfolded. We are on every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rhode Island Broadcasting, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Join us live. You can chime in. You can chat with us. During the show, we will gladly talk about anything you'd like to talk about. You can follow us on all our social media platforms as well, at Sports Unfolded, at Broadcasting RI or Rhode Island Broadcast, a couple different ways there. Plus, you can listen to us in our market in Atlanta and Dallas as well. We appreciate it. WDJY 99.1 every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. If you're in Southeast Connecticut, you can watch us every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. on public access.
Tickers down there.
12. Join us live every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'd love to talk to you. Continue to like, share, and follow our show as well. And follow Rhode Island Broadcasting. Some amazing shows and programs on there as well. So you will have a blast. Be part of this family and enjoy.
Absolutely.
Ron, we're going to talk some Major League Baseball. Justin Verlander is returning to the Houston Astros. Can he help turn this season around? Right now, the Houston Astros sit in last place at 6-14 to start the season, dead last in the division. Can Verlander be the savior?
Well, I think it could start getting them pointed in the right direction. Look, I mean, this is a good team. They were in the thick of things last season. So why would all of a sudden they just not good? So I think they're struggling right now. And what?
You're talking to Justin Verlander right now. Look at that.
Yes, I am. I did that just for you.
That works, my friend.
So I think, look, I don't think this team is this bad. I think this is a good team. They just got to get the ship pointed in the right direction, and having the captain come back That's
Hey.
you know,
Ta-da-ta.
I think that's a big start. So
I will say, listen, you're right. Third overall in batting average in Major League Baseball at 268 as a team, which is still
yeah,
pretty bad. But if you think about it, that's third. 29th in ERA as a team, 5.24.
that's not good.
Right. But again, Verlander, 41 years old. How much can he help this team? You're talking to every fifth start, right? 13-8 last season, 3.22 ERA in 162.1 innings pitched, 144 strikeouts. That's with the Mets and Houston combined. Here's where I think they have a shot. The Rangers, who lead the division, they're 11-9. The Mariners, Angels, and A's are ahead of them, which if you look at them as a whole, those teams predominantly aren't very good. So they have a chance when they start to play these teams to make from ground up and possibly get into first place again. Verlander may help that spark a little bit, get that pitching staff back on track. I mean, 5.24 ERA isn't going to win many games if you continue to do that.
No. But when you look at that lineup is a strong lineup. So all they have to do is just try to fix their pitching, and that's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do, but I think they can do it. They have pitchers that are capable of playing much better, and as long as they don't fall too far back, they should be okay.
Yeah. That's again an interesting season. We should be getting our first Major League Baseball rankings coming out within the week. We were just waiting to get about 20 plus games in. So you will see that on our Sports Unfolded pages. So check that out as well. My man Mickey always does a great job with that. And we have a lot of fun with that Major League Baseball rankings. Ron, it is time for split decisions. Yeah, it's a very long season. Yes, it is, James. Our split decision segment, basically, we give each other more likely scenarios, and we have to make a decision. You are first this week, Ron. So your first split decision.
Okay, who is more likely to win the NBA championship this year? New Orleans, Orlando, or Indiana? Out of those three teams, who is more likely to win the NBA championship?
Pelicans aren't getting out of the play-in, so I'm already calling that.
Oh, they already. Oh, okay.
I would probably say I have more confidence on Orlando, but Indiana's a very good young team as well. That Lightning, the Thunder. He's going Thunder, but that wasn't one of my options.
Yeah, no, it's not an option.
So if I was going to go with Orlando or Indiana, I'm going Orlando. So I think Orlando Magic have a better shot of if everything had to go perfect. But
everything has to go perfect for these teams. But
I would see that. I don't even think New Orleans gets past the play-in, the final game here without Zion. All right.
Okay.
That was a good one. Huh? Ron?
Glad you like it.
My first split decision. More likely for Caitlin Clark to win Rookie of the Year, MVP, or a WNBA championship this season?
Rookie of the Year. That's an easy one.
It's an easy one? You don't think she
can
win
MVP? Because I'm just saying, she'll win Rookie of the Year most likely. But
there's still some good rookies.
The others
about the guys, the gals that came out.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying that's the more likely to happen.
Okay.
So it's much more difficult as a rookie to win a championship or an MVP. They ain't going to give you the MVP unless you win that championship. So if you win the championship, you're winning all three of them.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. What's your second split decision?
Second split decision. Who is more likely to win the Stanley Cup? Washington Capitals, Nashville Predators, or the New York Islanders?
Bro, what are you doing to me today? I'm going Islanders. That's not even none of them. but that's not an option. So I'm going Islanders because Caps stink, Preds stink. Islanders are maybe
Predators
a little
don't
better.
stink, actually.
They're not that good. Not compared to what's out there. They're not. None of those.
Hey, Washington could get an upset in the first round.
Okay.
Just saying.
We're going to talk NHL soon. All right, Ron. My second split decision. Which number one seed is more likely to win a championship? The Boston Celtics, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Florida Panthers, or the Dallas Stars?
I don't think Oklahoma will win it. I don't think they can do it. I think they're gonna. Same thing is gonna happen to them as happened to Sacramento last year.
James seems to think Boston.
Yeah, they got the easiest road. They have the easiest road. I would say Boston as well. Florida Panthers probably would be my next choice. Even though I think Florida Panthers might win the Stanley Cup. But I can see.
So that's Florida then, you just said. So you're going Florida. You're not going Boston.
No, I'm going Boston.
Okay. I don't know. That sounded
I'm
like
going Boston.
That's your split decision.
Well, because, Florida's playing Tampa Bay, and I like how Tampa Bay can match up to the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay has a history of, playing well in the playoffs. And they also have a goaltender that has something to say about it, too. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to say Florida, because they could get upset in round one.
Okay. All right. Good one. Great job. Split decision. I love it. All right, Ron. We're going to talk some NHL. We're going to talk some playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs. I know you're excited.
Yeah.
This weekend, right, opens up the Stanley Cup playoffs. We got a nice little graphic of that. I like their logo. I like what they do with the way they do it.
It's classy. A beautiful trophy.
Right?
So.
It's classy. I will say this, Ron. So many different matchups. We're not going to obviously have time to talk about each one in detail, but this is what I wanted to do for you. We're going to talk about each one. I'm going to kind of give you a rapid fire question or two that you can answer, and then anything that you feel will bring some value to that series for our fans out there. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start off in the Eastern Conference. Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Florida, number one in goals against, 2.42. Tampa Bay, fifth in goals for with 3.51. So that's an interesting story there. Panthers, right? Great run last year, made it to the Stanley Cup. But now they're playing some old vets who've been there before. Do the Lightning have one more run in them?
This is a tough one because I just got done saying that Tampa Bay matches up pretty well, for the Florida Panthers. So when you take the Tampa Bay Lightning and they can put 7 20-goal scorers on the ice and 3 40-goal scorers on the ice, that's a lot of firepower. The problem is that defense. That defense is not the same. You have Hedman and Radish. They have to take the bulk of the play. And when you get a team like Florida that can roll out Forsling, Ekman, Larson, Kulikov, and Ekblad, you got some guys that can really give you the depth that is needed. The ace in the hole, though, Vasilevsky. If there's a clutch goaltender out there, it would have to be him, right? And what you get in the regular season isn't what you're going to get in the postseason. He's going to be ready. So that's the one thing that could turn the tide for Tampa Bay. But I still think Florida has way too much.
Okay.
Way too much.
All right. Boston Bruins versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto, second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Second in goals for at 3.63. Boston, fifth in goals against at 2.70. So here's your two quick questions. You're dying to get into this one. You ready? Hold on. David Pasternak versus Austin Matthews. Pasternak 110 points this season. Austin Matthews 107. Obviously, a little bit different. Pasternak more on the assist side. Austin Matthews on the goal side. Who needs to have a bigger series?
Pasta.
Okay.
Pasta has to show that he's ready and to take that next step.
Second question. Which team finally performs in the playoffs? So Toronto, well-talented, right? We talked about them. They are scoring. But they haven't been able to put it together in the playoffs. And Boston, who's been there consistently, but seems to, find a way to lose each season. Which team do you think performs in the playoffs? Even if they lose, it's like a 7-game grind them out. They performed. It's just they fell short.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Boston. I think Boston is gonna show up. They have no choice but to show up because they dug themselves a big hole. The way they ended the season was pretty horrible, losing to Washington and Ottawa to lose that number one top seed in the division. And now you have to go up against Austin Matthews, who has 69 goals this year. So not an easy task. But the thing is, the Bruins beat Toronto all season. Mm-hmm. Okay? Toronto has a history of losing to Boston in history. So you have those things on your side, and if the Bruins come out to play a solid game like they're capable of doing, they should be able to handle the massive amounts of offense that you see with Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Tavares, Bertuzzi. That's a lot of firepower, but they're very top-heavy. And when you look at what's at the defensive side, that hurts because Morgan Riley is the guy that has to get it done. And I don't think he can handle the forechecking of Boston if they're on their game. I don't think they can handle it. And Wall is a good goaltender. Samsonov is trash as far as I'm seeing. Wall is going to be the guy probably in net for the bulk of it, if not all of it. But I don't think he's going to be able to stop the Bruins. Okay. I don't think he's going to be able to.
All right. New York Rangers.
Back end is so much better.
All right. New York Rangers versus Washington Capitals. Rangers 26.4% on the power play, fourth overall during the season. Again, expectations very high for the Rangers, Ron. Do they look past the Capitals, and could that hurt them?
That's the only thing that could hurt them, really. If they look past Washington, they can get beat. Look.
And then the second question. Oh, go ahead.
Ovechkin has to get a million goals in this series to beat Rangers. So, you can't overlook them.
And that's an old team in Washington. Can they muster up enough? Do they have anything left in that tank to possibly be able to upset the Rangers?
I don't think they can. They can't. Look, everybody can be upset.
Yeah.
But there's too much depending on Ovechkin. There's too much. So everybody knows where the puck is going. You don't think that the Rangers are going to be making sure that he is got somebody on him at all times? They're going to do that. They're not going to be stupid. Okay? And if they are, then, but when you look at Panarin, 120 points, he leads the team, right? Strome leads the team in Washington with 67 points. That ain't going to get it done. When your best player is Strome, you have problems.
Okay.
And there's the scoring depth goes down for Washington. It's horrible. They're in trouble. I can actually see if the Rangers come to play every game, they sweep.
All right. Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. Carolina 2.57 goals against was fourth best in the NHL. Hurricanes, obviously, very top, one of the top teams, very talented. Can Matthew Barzal continue his solid season, Ron? He's carried these Islanders Will he be able to do 80 points, I think, on the
Yeah.
season?
Yep.
Can he muster enough? Will he be enough to get past the Hurricanes?
Yeah, when you look at the offense between the two teams, to me, they're pretty even. Aho leads for Carolina with 89. Barzal has 80. Then it's Gensel 77, Nelson 69, Jarvis 67, Horvat 68. So when you go down the list, it's pretty even. But where you see it again as the bigger difference is everything behind the forwards. The defense, yeah, they have Dobson, but they have Mike Riley as like their second best defenseman, for scoring. And Mike Riley is not good enough. And when he's your second best, even though you have Pulak and Pellick, their offensive production isn't there. So I don't know. And the Islanders have Sebastian Aho on their side, a different one, but he's not the talent as the Carolina Sebastian Aho. But when you look at Carolina's defense, Sky, Burns, Slavin, Orloff, they have all these Pesci and Chatfield. Those guys are solid. They're solid. And then you have Kochetkov in net, and that is a big difference. I think Varlamov has had a pretty good year, but it's a tall task. If they're gonna be a SIF, and the Islanders defense, they're gonna have problems. I don't know if they can. I don't think they can keep up with Carolina. I don't think they can do it. 4-1.
We're in the Western Conference. Dallas Stars versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Dallas 3.59 goals for, which was third overall. And you think about Dallas, we always thought defense. They're scoring a lot of points. Vegas, obviously defending champs, but they've struggled all season to stay consistent, especially here towards the end. Do they make a run, Ron?
I like the makeup of the team for Vegas. There's just something wrong. And, they have Hannafin, Theodore, Petrangelo, McNabb. They have Logan Thompson in net. I just don't. Their forwards just don't do enough. And I know a lot of injuries have taken its toll to a lot of those players, like Stone. I just don't think they have enough. Dallas is too complete of a team. When you look at, especially up the middle, Duchesne, Hintz, Pavelski, Sagan, Wyatt Johnson, everybody but two forwards can play center for that team. Everybody.
So that was my second question, because Dallas is probably the Bruins of the East, where they seem like they're the best team or one of the top teams, and then in the playoffs, they don't perform. Do they perform in the playoffs this season?
Well, I think they'll get by Vegas, but then you play the winner of Winnipeg and Colorado. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. Which is the next one we were going to talk about, Winnipeg Jets versus the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado, number one scoring team this season, 3.68 goals for. Winnipeg, though, 2.42 goals against, which was second best in the NHL. Which side wins, Ron, defense or offense in this series?
Well, I'm going to just say speed, right? Speed is going to be a big part because you're getting a bigger team with Winnipeg, but that is a fast Colorado Avalanche team. And when you get guys that can get up in a hurry and hit that 20-mile-an-hour speed, fast, that's a little much. And I like the makeup of the Winnipeg Jets. I love the team. Scheifele, Morrissey, fantastic player. Kyle Connor. But there's so much speed and talent. McKinnon, Rantanen, even Middlestat, that pickup at the trade deadline. Middlestat is third on the team with points, believe it or not. And the defense, Makar, Taves, Walker, Manson, that's pretty impressive. But there is a little wild card here. We've seen it before. Goaltending can make a difference. And Colorado has been shuffling around goaltenders, and they haven't been able to really get one to really... And Georgiev is not the answer. He's got an .897 save percentage, 3.02 goals against. But you're playing behind a great team. And all he needed was an above-average goaltender. He's not it. Hellebuck, 921 save percentage, 2.39. He can take the series. I don't think he will, but he can do it.
Right. Would you say this is the toughest matchup to probably in the first round?
Yes.
Both of these teams
Absolutely.
Realistically could win this.
I've changed my mind. I have the little circle. I don't know if you can see this, but the little circle there, and then it's crossed out. Yeah. I crossed it out, recircled, and no.
So, very tough series. All right, Vancouver versus the Nashville. So, Vancouver Canucks versus the Nashville Predators. Vancouver, 6th overall in goals for at 3.40. Not a big surprise to you. I know you've talked about the Canucks, and you thought they were a pretty good team and pretty consistent all season.
Yeah.
Do we see that same team in the playoffs? Can Nashville possibly upset them?
Yossi has to be unbelievable this series in order for it to happen. This is going to be a really tough task for Nashville because the depth on Vancouver is just so good. JT Miller, Peterson, Bozer. Those guys have been tremendous all year. But Nashville does have Forsberg, and they have this veteran O'Reilly that seems to be able to come up big. So we'll see what happens. That defense, though, I don't know if they're going to have enough.
Yeah, I think to your point, Vancouver takes this one. Last one in the Western Conference. Edmonton Oilers versus the Los Angeles Kings. Edmonton, 4th overall in goals for at 3.56. Kings, 2.56 goals against was 3rd. Does Connor McDavid finally get some playoff wins?
All right, so if I'm looking at this quick, I'm looking at Kempe, Fiala, and Kopitar for LA, right? 75, 73, 70 points. That's awesome, right? Bouchard, Ekholm, and Nurse, 82, 45, and 32 points. But I forgot to mention, they also have Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. So that throws off all the offense and it makes it go towards Edmonton. The guy that they need? Yeah, Talbert's pretty good. He's actually, I like the goaltending. 2.5, 913 save percentage as opposed to 905 for Stuart Skinner. I think that's where they have the problem is there. Because I like the 4 main defensemen for Edmonton. They're playing well this season. So that's good. Pierre-Luc Dubois has to actually live up to his contract. That's the problem. LA needs to use him properly. He needs to step up. If he doesn't step up, they're sunk. It could be a sweep.
Okay, wow. Sweep. NHL playoffs, obviously, we'll continue to carry it throughout. Look forward to that. Probably do a little bit of hockey. We got to do a hockey show, right? We haven't done a hockey show in quite some time.
I know.
We'll get a hockey show thrown in here soon as well and talk about some more NHL. Again, if you are interested, vote right now, currently up on Sports Unfolded page, Sports Unfolded poll, and you can help us nominate our next NHL Hall of Famer and also for Major League Baseball as well. So those polls are still running. Vote, help us get in right now. Gordie Howe leading in the NHL and Mariano Rivera leading for Major League Baseball, but that can change. One more week left of voting. Next week, we will have new candidates to induct into the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. So
NFL and multi-sport kind of thing.
Multi-sport, yes. Yeah. All right, Ron, it is time for pick and roll.
It's time.
It's time for pick and roll.
Our pick and roll segment, basically, we have to make our picks and then roll with them. This week's topic goes along with episode 16, Fever Pitch, season 4 of Sports Unfolded. These players all
For
had
Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah, that's it. Fever. You give me fever, and I'm not going to do it. We just lost some.
We went from 1,000 down to 6.
Yeah. These players all had 16 hat tricks in a season, and that was Babe Dye, Michelle Goulet.
Michelle Goulet, and you
good.
sent me. Yeah, Michelle Goulet, but you sent me Lenny McDonald, and I'm like, who the hell is this?
Lanny. It's Lanny. Lanny McDonald.
Yes.
Stan Makita and Brian Trottier.
Yeah.
We got to rank them from 5 to 1, Ron. You are first this week. You're pick and roll.
Yeah, so Eric, I do like I always do. I try to pre-number them to find out where, if I'm going to be right or not. And then I find out that, oh, damn, really? So I did that, and it was all different than what I thought it was, except for one thing. Babe Dye, I have at number 5, and mostly because the era was, 1920 something?
Yeah. And he was a pig.
They didn't really even keep track of many stats back then, right?
And he was a very successful pig. I think he had 2 movies. So. No.
Yeah, 2 movies, Babe. Yeah. So I had him at number 5. He had 203 goals and 50 assists. I guess he didn't like giving the puck up.
I guess not.
So 25 game winners, 1 cup, and they really didn't have much of anything as far as accolades back then.
None of the guys
so he was number 5.
Yeah, the awards that were named that they weren't even born when he was playing.
Yeah. Number 4, and I had this guy penciled in at number 3 before that, but he dropped to number 4. Michelle Goulet, 548 goals, 605 assists, 1,153 points, a plus 99, Hall of Famer, as all these guys are, Hall of Famers. 5 All-Stars, and what kept him at number 4 was he didn't have a Stanley Cup, but he was a great player. Oh, he was so good, so talented. And I had him penciled in at number 3 at first because I thought it was Lenny McDonald instead of Lanny McDonald.
All right. I made a mistake. I know.
Usually
I'm perfect, Ron. So
I know, but it wasn't your fault. It was the text thing auto correcting.
Yeah, that's what it was. They want
because nobody's named Lanny, but
Lanny.
that mustache doesn't lie. My mustache carried the rest of the body to 500 goals, 506 assists. He has a plus 39, 54 game winners, 1 cup, 2 All-Stars, 1 Masterton, 1 Clancy, and he was a very good player, and what a character he was. What a character. The rest of them, too. The mustache was the character.
Sounds like a little hairy to me on that pick, but go ahead.
Yeah. We'll just stash that one aside. All right, number 2, which I thought was going to be number 1 because this guy led the league in scoring 4 times. It's something that Sidney Crosby couldn't do. Just saying. So,
all right, let it go.
I'm not letting it go because he's better than Sidney, too. But I had him at number 2. Stan Mikita, 541 goals, 926 assists, 1,400 plus points in his career, plus 329, 84 game winners. He won 1 cup, 8 All-Stars, 2 Lady Bings, 4 Art Ross trophies, and 2 Hart trophies for MVP. Stan Mikita was freaking phenomenal. What a great player he was. Great player. But number 1, the great Brian Trottier, 524 goals, 901 assists, 1427. So he's 40 less points than Stan Mikita. 69 game winners, but he's a plus 449, which is absolutely insane. Those are great numbers. 4 All-Stars, 1 King Clancy, 1 Art Ross, 1 Hart Trophy for MVP, and 6-time Stanley Cup winner. That guy wins.
Yeah. All right. Not bad. Not bad at all. I had it a little different. Babe Dye, I agree with you. 5th, just numbers weren't there. I went Lanny McDonald at 4.
Yeah.
And again, I thought that Michelle Goulet
Splitting
at
hairs.
3.
Mustache
right?
hairs.
Right? Yeah, very good. That was good. Michelle Goulet, though, again, 150 more points, a better plus minus, more game-winning goals. Even though Goulet only had he had 5 All-Stars, I thought his overall,
Yeah, I can see that.
accolades were a lot better. And then I had, believe it or not, Ron, Brian Trottier
Yeah.
at 2.
Yeah, and I can see this too.
I get it, 6 cups, but that to me is just like, hey, there's some Patriots that have 3 championships. Guess what? Because Tom Brady was that good, he made them better.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're on a great team, Michael Jordan, right? Scottie Pippen has 6. Scottie Pippen, you put him on another team, he's not very good, right? So it looks like they win a lot. I think he was.
Yeah, but Brian Trottier was good.
I'm not saying he's not a good player.
He won a Hart Trophy.
But I will say this: Stan Mikita.
Oh, I know. Stan Mikita is great.
I put him ahead of him because I liked his accolades: 4 Rosses,
Yeah.
2 Hearts, 2 Bings, plus the cup. Versus Trottier, who had 1 of everything. This guy seemed to do it a little more and a little better.
Stan Mikita was unbelievable.
Phenomenal players, man. I love this list because it was guys we hadn't really talked about in the past.
And I look, I wasn't there to watch Babe die, right? Not Babe die, but Babe die play.
These kids watch this, Ron. The poor pig.
But the other
They
4
didn't die.
I've seen play, and they were fantastic players. Fantastic players.
Whatever happened to that pig? Did they not re-sign him to another movie? Why wasn't Babe 3? Was there a Babe 3?
I don't know. I didn't watch 2.
I didn't know.
No, I didn't like it.
You didn't like the first one? What?
No.
Come on, he was so cute.
The only thing it did, it got me hungry.
Oh, boy. Wow. All right.
No Christmas cards from pigs all over the world.
Yeah, all the farmers have just cut you right off, Ron. Once again, this is Sports Unfolded. We are live every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rhode Island Broadcasting, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all our social media platforms. Like, follow us, share us, donate, stars, bits, buy me a coffee. A lot of different ways you can help us as well to continue to help us grow. Now on the Atlanta-Dallas market on WDJY 99.1 FM at 1 p.m. on Saturdays. So looking forward to gaining that market as well. If you're listening to us, come join us live. We'd love to chat with you. Love to hear about that market as well. Ron, it is prediction time.
I only have 37 lost Christmas cards this year.
I know you're slacking.
I don't know what's wrong. I've been too nice.
Yeah. I mean,
too nice.
Yeah, you turned over a new leaf. Maple leaf?
No maple leaf here.
All right, my friend, it is prediction time. If you are joining us live, let us know who you pick as well. We'll get your name on our prediction chart next week. We had a pretty good week. Me and Ron 5-3. Chakra 6-2 last week.
Nice job, Chakra _power. If you're watching on Twitch,
I think it's 3 or 4 weeks running now. We've had a top 5 driver. I had a top 5 driver last week, 3rd overall.
Very good.
So we are even on the NASCAR scene, tearing it up. Get it? Tearing it up.
Yep.
All right, my friend. We are starting.
It's like a driving force.
It is. Yeah, we're staring this thing right into a wall. Oh, boy. All right. On April 19th, Ron, you've got the Sacramento Kings at the New Orleans Pelicans. That is the final play-in game. That is tonight.
Yeah, I'm taking Sacramento.
I took Sacramento as well. Listen, no Zion. I think it's a done deal. Even though New Orleans has played very well, they've beaten Sacramento during the regular season. I think three in a row or something.
Yeah.
Going Kings. Down with
Sacramento.
The Kings. Go James.
Oh, James.
Kings. He's down with the Kings. Run DMC. That was a great song. All right. April 21st. Game 1. Dallas Mavericks at the Los Angeles Clippers. I went Mavericks here, man. The Clippers. Listen, Kawhi Leonard's not even.
Luka.
Kawhi probably not playing game 1. May not even play in this series. Dallas playing very well at the end of the season after the All-Star break, playing good defense. I went Dallas.
Yeah, I went Dallas as well. I like their chances for advancement.
Mavs as well from James. Well, we know James. Anybody Dallas, it don't matter. Dallas soccer balls. I don't know. All right,
Dallas soccer balls.
that's what the. I don't know. Mavericks. Maybe Goose and Maverick. You could have went Top Gun. You could have done like a little plane. Anyway, April 20th. You got the Toronto Maple Leafs at the Boston Bruins. Game 1 NHL Stanley Cup.
I'm going Boston on that one.
I'm going Boston as well. Game 1 at home. You're going to want to show.
After that crap game that they played against Ottawa.
That's the only problem with the Bruins. They scare me. They're so inconsistent. When you think they should win,
Yeah, they are.
don't. And then
I know.
when
Playoffs always scare me.
Yeah. And then next playoff matchup, April 21st, you got the Colorado Avalanche at the Winnipeg Jets. I went Winnipeg game 1 at home. At home, I think they get the advantage. I think
I go Winnipeg on that one as well.
This one's going 7, Ron. I think this series going 7.
I think you're right.
So that this one's going to be a fun one. I think both of those teams are very capable of winning the whole thing.
That's the best series of the
first round. Yeah, without a doubt.
Although Boston Toronto could be really great because
that
could go 7.
Oh, James went Colorado
With the little Christmas hat, or is that a mountain?
No, that's a mountain. Avalanche.
Okay.
All right. Baseball, Ron. April 19th starts tonight. Baltimore Orioles at the Kansas City Royals. Both teams in second place. 3-game series. Who do you have?
I'm going Baltimore. Kansas City's finally playing somebody good.
I thought the same thing. I read Baltimore. I said they're finally playing a real team, and we're going to see it. And listen, Orioles. I mean, great pickups in the offseason. Very good team last year.
It is a good team.
They're gonna. They're going to figure this out sooner than later.
Look, I mean, I made it sound like a joke, but Kansas City's playing really well. So, I mean, I hope they keep going. Just don't mess up my prediction.
Yeah, James went Orioles. Major League Soccer, Ron.
Is that a cardinal he went with? Or a parrot?
I don't know.
What
It
is
looks
that?
like a parrot. It looks like a parrot. April 20th, football club in Cincinnati is at the Atlanta United, Major League Soccer.
I mean, come on. There's no way Atlanta United is losing this game. There's no way. Bank on it.
Can I say?
Bank on it.
You know what? We should have. There was a segment once on Family Guys, and it was Grind My Gears.
It grind my gears.
Right, it grinds my gears. You know what grinds my gears? Why do they not have names for these teams? Football Club of Cincinnati. Give them a name. Give them a name. It bothers me. At least I went Atlanta United because they have a name.
Wait, wouldn't that be the FCC? Football Club of Cincinnati?
Yeah, we're going to get banned by them, but some of our comments sometimes.
Just saying.
April 20th, Ron.
Atlanta. James went Atlanta.
Yep, I got it. Atlanta.
Let's go, Atlanta. Come on.
United. You could have done a flag too, buddy. You got to up your emoji game here, James. I think you're just going easy on these. April 20th, Ron. Michigan Panthers at the San Antonio Brahmas. The UFL.
Not the Bahamas.
What
It's
is
the
it?
Brahmas.
Brahmas.
No, Brahmas.
No, because now everybody said Brahmas.
Yeah,
Bra.
Brahm. Brahmas.
Brahmas?
Yeah, the Brahmas.
It's still a dumb name.
It's like Bahamas sounds like an island.
I don't even know what that is. That what that is? Is that a panther?
Wait, there's nothing there.
He put a little emoji.
It doesn't say.
That's a
What
bull.
is that?
Is
That's
that what a
bull.
Brahma is?
What's a Brahma?
I don't know what it is. The Brahma bull. Oh, Brahma bull. Is that what it is? That's what they
Oh, okay.
are. Oh, see, we learned something today. Today's lesson was brought to you by National Geographics.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Brahmas then,
All right. I went Panthers.
because that's a bunch of bull right there.
A bull could beat a panther in a fight.
Can it?
I don't know. I just think
know.
Panthers. I don't know. Marvel Universe. Go with the Panthers.
Gotta love that UFL though, huh?
UFL, man. Tearing it up. Can't take my eyes off it. Can't
See,
put
it
them on
doesn't-
it. I can't
none
put
of
them on it
these teams
either.
matter except for the Italian Stallions.
I'm
That's all that
Italians.
matters.
I can't put my eyes on it either.
Did they win?
They're
They
3-0,
won, right?
buddy. 3-0.
Yeah, of course.
Only undefeated team.
Yeah.
All right, April 21st, Ron. Geico 500 in Talladega. Need a top 5 driver.
Okay, so here we go, right?
Give me one name this time. You gave me 17 the last time.
Yeah, well, that gets my chances better, right?
Just let me know when you tell me who you're picking, because I don't know.
All right, so coming off a leg injury, came in 10th, I believe, last week. I'm looking for Chase Elliott to win this one.
Was it his accelerator leg? Which leg? Because that could play a factor.
I don't know, but I'm taking him.
Ricky Bobby,
He's
baby,
ready.
you know it. If you ain't first, you're last.
That's right. So I'm taking Chase Elliott. He's going to be back. He won on this track last year.
Oh,
so.
you and James Chase Elliott. All right, James and Ron.
I think E.T. was chasing Elliott.
Phone home. That's very good. You guys are very clever. I went Ryan Blaney. He's run Talladega extremely well in the 6 races. I mean, he's been phenomenal in Talladega. So I went Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, good choice.
Ryan Blaney.
He was on my list.
I'm glad. That makes me feel so much better, buddy. Thank you. Ron, what a great show we've had tonight. All of our fans that have joined us live, James, we always appreciate the support. Those that have been watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Those who are going to listen to us on WDJY in Atlanta, 99.1 FM. Those that are going to watch us on Tuesday nights at SEC TV, Public Access Channel 12. Those that are going to follow us on Rhode Island Broadcasting and Sports Unfolded on our social media platforms, we appreciate you. Subscribe, like, and share our show. It only helps us grow. Ron, we normally have our final thoughts, but before we get into our final thoughts, there's some really important information that we need to share with everybody out there. The hundreds of thousands of possibilities that you can have on your business and sponsoring this show. We need to let them know how they can do that and get their name right above me.
Yeah, you better do this real soon because our first couple of weeks have been stellar out there in WDJY.
You got to say it like this.
99.1.
Stella!
Stella!
All right, there you go.
So it's been very good first couple of episodes, averaging 1,748 listeners just on the website, not including what's on the radio. So more important for you people that are listening to us on the radio, get in there, put some comments. Let us know where you're from in the Atlanta area. So that way we can directly give you a shout out. But just send us an email. ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com to sponsor the show. We can send you out all the information you need to do. It's going to be closed pretty soon for that because we're on the radio now and we're going to be sponsored for sure probably by summertime. So, but now you have an opportunity. You know we're getting thousands of views and listens. So you better jump on this now while it still costs less than a cup of coffee and a donut at your local coffee shop.
Yeah, no,
Just
absolutely.
saying. Do
James,
it now.
is that Major League Soccer or is that Major League Baseball? Said there's like 10 fans in the entire stand in the stands.
Wait, is that?
Chicago, Miami.
Wait,
is that the
the
basketball
Chicago
game?
Miami Heat?
Wow. The NBA. Wow.
Oh my
Holy cow.
God.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. I guess nobody really cares.
Well, no Butlers. I guess he's out too.
The Butler did it.
Wow. That's embarrassing.
All right, Ron, it is final thoughts time. Our final thoughts don't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It could be about anything going on in the world today. You are first this week. Can you let everybody out there know your final thought?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to thank all of the fans that are listening in Dallas, Georgia, and in the Atlanta area. Look, I mean, this is a
Dallas,
whirlwind.
Georgia, like the city's Dallas?
Yes.
Not Dallas, Texas.
No, not Dallas,
It's a
Texas.
Dallas,
Georgia.
Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just outside of Atlanta. That's where the station is.
Cool.
So, so I want to thank all of them for listening. And, like I said, throw down some comments so we know who you are, so we know who we're talking to, what sports you listen to and watch, and the whole bit. Because we really want to know what the fans think. And that goes for everybody around the world, whether you're in Sao Paulo or you're in the Philippines or wherever you're listening to us or watching us. We want to know where you're from, and so that way we can make sure that we connect with the fans. That's really all I wanted to say for my final thoughts.
I love it. Listen, we wouldn't have a show without them. So
No.
James is in Connecticut. Thank you, James. Yes, we got one in Connecticut. All right, Ron, my final thought. April 25th, 7:45, Sports Unfolded live NFL draft watch party. Join us. We are going to talk about the NFL draft. So with the NFL draft fast approaching, and everyone has their mock drafts and what teams should do, I've heard a lot of discussion about the quarterbacks and what teams need to do, which quarterback, who's going to be the more successful. I wanted to take a look back at the 2021 draft. 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones. 3 are no longer with their team. 1 is currently looking for a trade and has not even participated in a voluntary camp. And 1, they're not even sure they're going to sign long term. Stop telling people that you need a quarterback, because you're more likely to miss. So 5 quarterbacks taken, 1 right now is a starter in the NFL. That's 3 years.
One's a backup to that guy.
Right? 3 years in the league. I don't understand why these mock drafts, and they keep trying to make you feel like this is the solution to everything. Justin Fields is now going to be replaced by another number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we do at quarterback. So if you're out there and you're making your mock drafts and you hear people and they're telling you how you should be drafting a quarterback, I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably not going to be successful as a team. And in 3 years, you'll be looking for another one. That seems to be the more substantial thing that happens than anything else. So I'd be remiss to say that I really hope New England doesn't go quarterback with the number 3 pick. I'd really like to see them, Marvin Harrison Jr. Get yourself a number one wide receiver for the next 10 years, and then you can get a quarterback that can throw him the ball. But again, watch us live April 25th, 7:45 p.m. The draft starts at 8. We'll have some pre-draft stuff we'll talk about and just have some fun with that. Probably going to try to get James to join us and Kenny, the big dog, to join us as well, just to have some fun and, kill some 3 hours of time. But join us for our draft party, April 25th, 7:45 p.m.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. I want to thank everybody that's joined us live. James, always amazing. Everybody that's watched us, continue to like, share, follow us. Join us on our social media platforms. Vote for that Hall of Fame, Major League Baseball, and NFL are up currently. Baseball,
No,
I'm sorry.
baseball and hockey.
Baseball and hockey. We got so many votes going on right now. But baseball and hockey, get your votes in to pick your next Sports Unfolded inductee into our Hall of Fame. Watch and share us. Follow us. That's all of the athletes that are in currently. We will do a new vote next week for the NFL and multi-sports athletes as well. Ron, I want to thank you for your time tonight. It's been a pleasure. Always have fun. Cannot wait till next Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rhode Island Broadcasting. Don't miss it.
Back-to-back nights.
Back-to-back Thursday night, Friday night. Whoo! You're going to be all full of Sports Unfolded, full of something. But we are going to have some fun. So join us Thursday. Join us live Friday night at 6 p.m. as well. We'll cover more of the draft on Friday as well. And we'll see you then. And all we ever ask for every single show is peace on earth.
Have a great night, everybody.